First and foremost, thank you for the subscribers that follow me because of the Delphi case. And that's the main reason why I'm making this as well. Yesterday I went on a complete rant because of the motherfuckers that spread so much lies. So let's get some clearance in this one. I'm not gonna tell like the whole story because I did that in the episode with the podcast, the live podcast that we did, and it got a lot of viewers, so that's a good thing. And I always had like this water theory. Like it's just really strange that they went over the water because you can see like the search party knee deep in water. Even though they say yeah it's just shallow part. Yeah, you need you need to know that, right? So that's like also part of the confusion why I'm making this video. So I'm using Actus Ruse as my main source, and while we all know the audio by now, so I'm gonna go for here, and this is where part that interests me though. So Sergeant Holman tells us that the investigators have more audio from Libby's phone, which was found with the girls at the crime scene. Okay, so we know this from a police officer, this to be true. So we can pretty much assure that that is a fact, right? So you can ask a lot of questions. Yeah, why did the suspect did not take her phone? Blah blah blah. Apparently, he did not notice that he was being recorded. But this is the part what bothers me. Then I need to go back. Let me see. So the recording was longer than has been released. Police won't release anymore to protect the integrity of the investigation, but they have seen the video and likely won't be able to stop. So this is something that bothered me at first because there's a difference between a recording, because a recording seems like another thing, right? And a video. So let's that be clear. I think the video and the recording is the same thing, and I can prove that. At least, in my humble opinion, I think I can prove that. So you can see the interview asked, is the attack itself on recording? So Toby Lisbon said no. So here it goes. I think the recording was way before the suspect actually got in the picture. Let me see. So this is the reason why I say that. So police say the girls mostly talk about girl stuff in the recording, but they also mention the man. Yeah, I think they're. I'm not sure about this, and I'm just gonna say it as a rumor because we aren't entirely sure because this case is like full of rumors and that kind of stuff. But according to sources, they were talking about a creepy man. That's basically it. More than that, we do not know. So this is what I'm trying to explain is I think they recorded way before the shots we are being given to. But then again, then you have Toby Lisenby saying, according to Down the Hill podcast, and I do not have this exact point right now. But anyways, he says that the recording is less than a minute. So less than a minute, stuff happened, and apparently police officers are traumatized about that. So think about this: if they went from here to here, where they were found, well, approximately, do you think that would take 1 minute? Honestly, I do not believe that, but still, let's go with the evidence. The GPS data is not. Well, just for factual matters, let's say that Mike Patty reveals that he went back to the house to retrieve phone information and brought it to the police, so they could start pinging Libby's phone. This would have to be this would have to be sometime after they were officially reported missing. An article is published on WFI, which interviews Mike Patty, who says the cell phone has been pinging around the town. So that's where we go again with the rumor that Libby and Abby actually went in some sort of vehicle, and that's why they pinged around the town. But apparently, the cell tower signals were so bad in Delphi that even the police had difficulties with the scanners. Let me see. You went back to the house. Okay, so we know that. So he collected all of Libby's belongings, and they went from there. But 6 hours before, this is assumingly that Libby, her phone was not dead yet. So here it says as well. But the ping was last noted around 5 to 6 hours ago. So that was after 5:20. And they say the phone is now dead. I saw the text where they got delivered, but they got not read. So the phone did have signal at that point. So they pretty much can pinpoint where Libby was at that time. The initial contact location, the Monon Railroad Bridge was. Oh yeah, this is totally not relevant, but still, I need to write shit down honestly. Okay, so this is like the old school stuff, but it's not relevant for what I'm trying to say. Okay, this might be interesting. Few from the west, and they got found in the east, right? So this is a trail leading up, I believe, to the Monon High Bridge. This is an aerial view to that. And I believe this is like the scariest part, like the high part. Okay, this is where I want to show another video. That's the body disposal location. The exact body disposal location has never been released, although we can pretty much pinpoint that, and I will show you in a second. Whether the homicide location and the body disposal location are the same is unknown. All that is known publicly is in the initial site of the encounter. The southeast end of the bridge is not the same location as the body disposal site. Wait, what? Okay, this is honestly new for me. Whether the homicide location and the body disposal location are the same, unknown, and I actually have a theory about that, and I'm gonna show that, is unknown. So we do not know if the bodies were killed in the same location they were being found at. That's basically what they were saying. So, anyways, was gonna already give a spoiler alert what we were gonna talk about, but so law enforcement has said that the disposal site was 1.5 miles away from the end of the bridge, and across the Deer Creek. It is possible to get a rough estimate of where the body were based, and I know exactly where the bodies were based. And this is where HLN comes in. They made a really good podcast, and I have to say they are really credible. They have so much pinpoint information that we can rely on, and that's why I want to use this as a source as well. Because Barbara McDonald actually does a real good bit on explaining why they couldn't be seen from across the creek.
He allowed us to go there. However, he didn't want to talk or appear on camera.
So this is the area where the girls were found, and you can kind of see that it is sort of a bowl shape here, where if you have two bodies laying on the ground here and people are walking along the creek, they wouldn't necessarily see that. The creek is right over here, Deer Creek, and High Bridge is over in that direction about a quarter of a mile. You can't even really see it from here.
So this is also kind of where the confusion begins. And this is also what I'm going to show you guys that Barbara McDonald actually says, that a guy, a volunteer, showed up with a camera. He was also on the same east side side of the creek, and he zoomed in with a phone. And this is where the confusion begins, because it really baffles me that on this website that's so reliable that states totally different, that a volunteer with a camera or with a cell phone camera zoomed in, saw a bunch of deer, and then saw the bodies. But we will come to that in a second. So just to clear things up, I'm gonna say it, because I'm not sure which side is actually right. Because this is also really credible, what we're all reading here. But H. Lynn is also really credible.
We're told that a searcher used his cell phone to zoom in on an area up in here and saw the girls lying here.
Okay. So, so here we go. He saw something, he could not figure it out. That's what Libya Grandma says, right? So that's her source. But then here we have the Indie Channel article, February 15, 2017. The bodies were found on private property about 50 feet from the shore of Deer Creek. Sources tell that Call 6 investigates that a set of footprints are what led volunteers to area of the bodies. So that is a huge difference between one volunteer who found it with his zooming in shield peninsula and two volunteers that led led them to the bodies. So it's good that they stated it both though, but which one is actually true? That's a real good one. So unfortunately, I cannot access this on Twitter, and I did find an article with Ron Logan that I apparently cannot find that quickly. But he said between the police tape, the bodies were right in the middle. So what Barbara McDonald says here as well, that they were just in the
And
middle.
you can kind of see that it is sort of a bowl shape here where if you have
So the would assume that they were laying there, not to be spotted. But here is where it becomes interesting. So we have the police tape, and they should be somewhere around the middle. So assuming this is like a hill here, and I'm pretty sure it's a tree that we are, or like the gap in the creek that we are gonna see in a second. I'm not sure who is this though. Is this like a searcher? I'm assuming yes, but okay. So here you have like that bowl shape which we were talking about. Let me see. Right here. Oh, so I need to scroll down. So this is like what you see. And I'm not sure if this is a camera failure or not, because you can see it like also here. I'm not sure if that is like the same thing. I do not think so. But this is the day they got found. This is an investigator. So he's looking down, and you see like this. Fuck my life, I cannot remember the name. Tall grass. I'm just gonna call it tall grass. So it's all like flat, and it's going to the left. It doesn't. I do not know if like the people who investigated like the lake, the rescue people or the fire department. I do not know if they did that. But the bodies got only found 15 or 50 feet away from the shore. So the physical evidence, a complication. Do I say? Yeah, a complication of this investigation is that because the trail area was being used as it was a public space, the evidence collected could be easily be unrelated, and that's what Kim. What's his face? You should be right here. Hold on. Of course he's in part two, but we weren't there yet. But still, we get on that later. He also says that a lot of people urinated there, spit, and I do not know what nasty things they did because they were searching, right? They still assumed like these girls were still alive. So this is where it becomes interesting, because I used to believe a theory what could have happened, and I totally am not agreeing with myself right now. So I already let this be heard yesterday, but still. Oh, by the way, this is a day after the bodies were found by detectives.
Fire 15, squad 2. Send it. Found an item of interest under the railroad bridge. Copy that. Go ahead and describe it to me. Girls' undergarments. Good copy. Thank you. Stand by.
Okay, and this just blew my mind. So I listened like to the whole tape. You can see it on my rant, or listen to it from a rant from yesterday. But and we also got cigarette butts.
2 Fire 15. Go ahead. It's on their way with evidence back, so just stand by there. They're on their way. They're coming through the water, by the way. There's at least 2 pieces of evidence so far. So you found more? What's the second thing you found? Because I'm only sending one evidence back. I have a cigarette butt in the water that is less than 2 or 3 days old. Okay, good copy.
Okay, so we do not know from the cigarette butts if they were found the same place as the clothing. That's assumingly yes, because the guy just states that they were only gonna get one evidence bag, and this was also the day after the girls were found. But let's come up with the back to the video, because like I said, I do honestly think Libby was recording before the man or bridge guy actually got hold on, got videotaped. And they're not showing this for some odd reason. And apparently that video is not longer as, I think 47 minutes. Well, not 47 minutes. My math is not good, guys, sorry. Seconds. But the strange thing is, when they got asked for that recording, and this is the reason why I'm saying this. So you see, like, this part, there's the ISP official release of the stills from Bridge Guy. And Doug Carter, although I'm not really fond of him, I think he's an actor, he says that he has his hand in his pocket. And I never watched that before, and it was kind of suggestive that I made that video about Bridge Guy Analyze 2.0. But apparently he also thinks that he has it in his pants. And not in his pocket. And like I said, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. That's fair enough. But we are here to clear some things up. So this is a reason why I think Libby recorded beforehand. And like I said, the recording was longer than it was released. Police won't release anymore to protect the integrity of the investigation. So there has to be an important point in that video that they find relative enough to not share. So that's a crucial thing. Who knows? It might be the part where BG actually comes closer. So this is the closest one we can get. This one, the last one, that's the closest frame that we can get. I checked that multiple times, and it is in fact the closest frame that we can get. That might be the best of the resolution. So here we go. But like I said, apparently a police officer was said that before like the new sketch press conference, the beforehand police officer got interviewed, and he said, yeah, I always have that that recording or that image in my head, and I'm wondering why. And that's kind of where I want to go with. Hold on. Like I'm kind of making this video in the spur of the moment, but I thought it was interesting because it actually calmed me down from not being that much pissed about all the rumors. Okay, we're going the suspect for a second, but so in the end of the trail, you pretty much have like nowhere to go. Like underneath the Manor High Bridge is a private drive, and here is somewhere like in this area is where one of Libby's shoes got found. So let me see. We have photos here, and this was let me see, J. Cal Kenny, I think his name was. Here we go. Oh, this video. Oh, there was actually a video. Can we click that? Oh, of course, it's private. Anyways, we got some pictures here. So I'm gonna ask a couple of questions because so right here, this is like the east side where this trail is going. Well, not the trail. It's going north, I guess. And this part here is disturbed. We can all see that. And fairly enough, it was a fairly warm day. All the snow melted, but this does not make any sense to me. And this is where a lot of rumors go. Like, yeah, Libby fell and her shoe got off. I mean, look at this. Sure, somebody can fall, but isn't that like way too big? I do not believe because this is fairly a straight point. There could be a happenstance that a struggle could have happened, or maybe, and I'm starting a theory on my own though, but still, maybe this is the place where the deed got committed, and the suspect actually thought, you know what, I need to disturb this all in order to get like no trail of myself, because it, like I said, it's like up here in that trail, and then it goes down. And I've walked in a lot of. I've actually grew up with a place that's pretty much all bush, and that looks more like somebody was climbing up than climbing down. But then again, it's too big, so it's wild fury. But still, so then we go to the location of the bodies. According to Becky Patty, the person who saw something, he saw something. He could not figure out what it was. There were two deer standing up there. As he looked up to see what it was, then that is when he saw them. Libby's grandma, Becky Patty, said they were lying in the grass between a group of trees deep in the forest. Well, that's a lie because they weren't that deep in the forest, but still. Oh, by the way, I'm repeating myself, but I do apologize. So we got the clothing, we got the cigarette butts, and here is where it gets interesting. So this guy, this photographer, that's how you say it, in proper American, apparently. So from 75 yards away, I could see girls' clothing in Deer Creek, east of the bridge, and I knew full well that the girls were found very nearby. Fucking lighter, it's not working. Anyways, so this guy said that he saw girls' clothing in Deer Creek. Okay, so that's this is an eyewitness that is stating that, and I'm not assuming that he's lying, but in the video that I'm about to show, we cannot see anything, and I'm not entirely sure if we can see anything on that. Hold on. That's also the. Wait, what? I was about to say I'm being fucked over. Nah. I'm just gonna show like a small portion, though, because you can actually hear
5
the police
North,
scanner.
US 421, 1165. If you are available or if you want us to tone Medic 3, we have a request for an ambulance on 300 North, just east side of the Heartland.
I think this is where the girls were found.
Someone will be speaking to a Marty Webb staging in that area, side of the Heartland. On standby just in case anything happens with all the people out and about. My officer requested you speak to a Marty Webb. 2 Carroll County. 2 Carroll County. 2.
By the way, this is the full police scanner.
Attention available medic. Request you en route to Indiana Packers Employee Health Clinic at 1165 North, US 421. 1165 North, US 421 for a 52-year-old patient having chest pain. Timeout 1110. There. Medic 2, were you clear direct?
Oh wait, this is totally different.
1111.
They didn't
You're
find them yet. Okay, hold on. Is this the part where they got found? It might as well be that side though, and the investigator should be on that side. I'm not entirely sure, so.
Fire ground, call myself.
I was unable to copy.
Fire ground, call myself. Number 165-201-2666.
Last 4.
2666.
So there is a part that I could could listen. I'll let you guys listen to this. Is the voice communication of the police helicopter, and this is the news helicopter.
Fire Command, Carroll County. Command, Carroll County. 61 is requesting your TX. I have his number here, ready to copy. 765-201-2666. 201-265.
Let's just skip a little bit forward, otherwise this video is taking way too much time to upload.
Copter 5, working plan. Copter. We're going to be 10-8. If there's any development or any additional areas they develop of any leads, then let us know. We'll come back and check those.
Well, yes, clear.
Operations, Copter 5. 5 on KY there.
Copter 5 operations is working off of DMA 3.
Clear next. You're on Ops 1 still. Lafayette 8914, 1046. 1046, 1028 Handicap, Indiana, D. David. 922, V. Victor, K. King. So, pewter-colored Silverado smooth cab. We're not changing the tire at 2nd and South Street, Lafayette.
89.
This is also a thing that on the abandoned building that a car was spotted on the old welfare building. Apparently there was a guy that had mechanical issues or that had a car issue, and it was a gray Honda Civic, I think was the guy just said. Let me.
At 8914, 1046. 1046, 1028 Handicap, Indiana, D. David. 922 V Victor K King. It's a pewter-colored Silverado extended cab. Not changing the tire at 2nd and South Street, Lafayette.
Okay, so I did not totally get that, but it was apparently a gray something. But apparently, people think that that was the car that was located at the welfare building.
89-4.
Lafayette 89-4.
89-4.
Do you return yet?
Fires 8/14/2017, 10/29/80.
Gotta change the tire.
89-4.
Marty, this is 354. 354, go ahead.
So let me get this clear as well. There's a website out there. I'm not entirely sure how it's named, but they think this is the body of Abigail. And that's not true, because if you play it further,
You got any ETA on my dogs?
you can see there's a car there.
Just standing there.
That's just a person, by the way, but still.
I'm still waiting to hear back from uptown.
So anyways, let me stop this video by saying the website who posted this, fuck you. So let's go
Be on
on.
the way. Sheriff was supposed to call me back as soon as he gets... The 179-600. I'm 1024 for the tire change. If you would start me a card, reference a criminal incident. Lafayette 1444, I'm out at my each new detail.
1444.
44, I'm out at my each new detail.
1444.
79-8, you're loud and clear. Thank you, sir.
They're actually really close. And I'm not entirely sure what this is though, but could be like anything. But on the right hand side, that's the spot where 50 feet away they got found. But you have to keep in mind though, this looks flat, but it actually goes like a little bit up. Oh, thanks for this.
On DMA 3. Any typical 100 DMA 3. When I left that group, I was already stressed out, and I came up closer to the scene.
So when they come closer up to the scene, that means that the bodies were found at this point.
Okay, we are loaded. We're getting a vehicle to take us all up there as a group. We're driving everybody up there separately. Pick up and pick up. It's going to take us up there versus bringing several vehicles. So we'll be up there in just a minute.
No hurry. 79601, 79602. 602, go ahead. Just had a citizen stop by our area, advised that the girls have been found in the water. Can you confirm that? Negative. We have no confirmation of that whatsoever.
The last voice that you heard, that's Toby Lazenby. That's the sheriff of Carroll County.
He advised it was John Weaver that told him that information.
And this is where also confusion comes to. In Carroll County, you had the Flora fires that 4 young girls died with. Only the mother escaped. And the next door neighbor was also called John Weaver. But if you look him up, there's very little information about him. Apparently, there's somebody named John Weaver that used to work in the Packers plant, I think it was. So please do correct me if I'm wrong, but there's also a John Weaver that died in 2013, and he also lived in what were the Florida fires actually was going on.
We have no confirmation of that whatsoever.
So in HQ, they do not know that they found the girls yet.
601, just hold all of your traffic. I'm up at the scene now.
Yeah, they just found them.
Lafayette 8914.
89-4.
This has been the Howard County Sheriff's Department evening radio test on Day Dig Dodge test case J269-1838.
520. You contact 51. Have somebody bring 520 out. 528. We need the ropes.
I think they mean with the ropes, that's police,
traffic, 528 to come
like the
out.
police ropes, you know?
Rope. Value 1851. Take one back in service at 1830. Check 1853. Service 1908.
902. County 902
I think this is Ron Logan, his property.
Medic 1 has cleared Saney East.
Okay, thank you. County Medical is back in the county.
All right. I'm just gonna stop it here because otherwise it's gonna be taking too long. I will put the link in the description if you want to hear it fully. That's all good. But remember that sources tell that the investigation set up a set of footprints that are what led volunteers to the area. But then again, we got this one that totally does not correspond with each other, right? So that's where a lot of confusion actually begins. So let's just say that this guy actually says that because of the police scanner info that we got, that this part is a part to be true. And this also could be it, but there could be like several other investigators that came behind that. So, news misunderstanding, so not, you can read that for yourself. We'll post everything. So let me see. So this is the welfare building. That's where one of the dispatchers was actually calling from, where one car was staying with a flat tire. At least that's a rumor though, but let me see. So the Indiana State Police also want to talk to anyone. Yeah, that's obvious. But I wanted to show you guys something else. So in all that helicopter footage, you cannot see anything because they circle around it. They do not go like across the spot where the girls were found. Because according to Ron Logan, he said to a reporter that actually took him up there that you can see the Man in High Bridge because they were standing a little bit higher, and in like this bowl they were found. And this is also higher, and the Man in Trail Bridge actually goes like alongside here. So if you look down, it would be like this would be higher than the bodies would be laying. And that's an approximate location, so we do not know that for sure. Then again, I do not get this though. Like, what is this? This could be like previous thing, but in this case, it's kind of suspicious. That's why I think they did this according to these photos. But so we have this photographer who says that on the east side, whatchamacallit, clothes were found. And then the next day, and this is kind of where I mind fuck myself, and I kind of do not want to do that, but still. That's why I was saying that might be actually from the guy getting up like this. So around here, the bodies were found only 50 miles from the shoreline from Deer Creek. So there are different scenarios, and different scenarios. I say that because the police scanner says that the girl's undergarments the next day were found underneath the bridge trail. That means that it could be anywhere from here. Did that happen before, or did that happen after? Did, for example, because a lot of suggestions say that the suspect actually went through the woods and through the graveyards. But if we are led to believe that the evidence actually is telling us that there are two things. Did something happen underneath the bridge? Because that's what the police scanner actually tells us. And like I said yesterday, I do not understand why it's not being spoken of. But there were undergarments found here. And I'm not gonna talk any rumors about what might have happened. This is evidence. You can hear that from the police scanner, so that's a mutual fact that's there. And let's assume that also cigarette butts were found here. Then either something underneath the bridge could have happened, or BG, bridge guy, walked back, fucked up that foliage right there, went back and threw the undergarments away. Because if you look at your shoe, your shoe, black Nike, apparently it was found in a private driveway. Was it then also somewhere near this part where the undergarments were found? I mean, that's the question, right? But it made so much clear to me when I actually watched this footage. But now I want to show you guys about the signatures. And I think that let something loose about the suspect that we are dealing with.
It will be used in the courtroom.
Is it fair to say it's several minutes long?
Okay, let me just skip a bit.
So-and-so.
That all of you guys watching it every couple of weeks haven't noticed yet.
Right.
I asked him about fingerprints.
There were some fingerprints collected.
Do you know if those fingerprints belong to the killer?
That I do not know.
And same with DNA. You have DNA.
Yes.
Do you have his DNA?
Again, we don't know.
How helpful has that video been?
I know there are still items within that video that are still being studied and considered. And so I still consider it a positive key piece of evidence that eventually will be used in the courtroom.
Is it fair to say it's several minutes long?
It's not as long as what you would think. To say several minutes now.
I also wanted to see if the sheriff would agree that he felt there were so-called signatures left by the perpetrator at the crime scene. But before we go there, let's become familiar with what a signature is. Jeff Reinick is an expert.
Well, I'm an expert as well, so I'm going to lay it out more clearly. If you have like a serial killer, for example, and he makes like a different signature to make sure that the people that find him, for example, law enforcement, they know it's him. That's how a signature looks like. And for example, if you have Zorro, for example, he makes always the Z, right? That's the signature. But this guy just explains it way too hard, but still.
When they talk about signatures as it relates to a crime, they're talking about behavior or actions on the part of the offender that might be unique to that offender. I think signatures are very important.
Right.
The FBI has a database called the Violent Crime Apprehension Program, and it invites local law enforcement to enter their violent cases in there with the intent that local law enforcement would have the opportunity to recognize similar behavior from an offender, let's say across state lines or even across the country. And so when you talk about signatures, that tells me that this offender engaged in behavior that was noteworthy by the investigators or by the crime scene investigators.
The former prosecutor.
Okay, the first part actually makes sense, but the last part was just like kind of gibberish to me. Dude, like, what the fuck are you talking about? We're not all police officers, are we?
Of the case, Robert Ives, told us they existed.
He told us that, in his opinion, there are 2 or 3 signatures left by the killer at the crime scene. Mm-hmm. And you said you agree in part with that?
Mm-hmm. A crime scene will tell you a story. Just stand back and observe, watch, see what it's going to tell you. That's why evidence is important. Once you put all those pieces of evidence together like a huge puzzle, it can tell you that story. And so, yes, I agree with what Prosecutor Ives said, that there's things that existed there at that crime scene that when the day comes, put them all back together and here's the story it's going to tell.
So what Toby Lazenby says that everything that happened at that crime scene would come together. So it does not that does not necessarily mean it's a signature. It might be a blood smear on a tree, for example. It might be the way he laid the bodies. But it does not necessarily mean that we have like the serial killer or offender that we mostly hear about. But what a lot of people say is that the crime scene was odd in its least. Well, isn't that always when you kill like 2 girls? I mean, they make it look like it's some sort of person that did this before and wanted to make it look like something that like to shock people.
Ahead, inside the mind of a killer. And could this happen again?
That's where to go with the signature. So that's kind of that. And I'm really curious about what they're gonna unleash next. Well, anyways, I will keep up these episodes. I hope I've been clear enough with the evidence that we have without all the rumor bullshit that people actually make money and stuff about. And excuse me, Corona, not kidding. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until the next one.